This episode is definitely full of very low lows, and I'm not going to tell you just yet as to whether it's full of the highs to offset those lows, but it was definitely a roller coaster, I can promise you that. Get ready. A day early. Haha! Engine mounts for the BMW a day early. Awesome! Know what I'm doing tomorrow. She is sleeping right now, but she shall be reawakened tomorrow. So it's kind of weird. I'm feeling really weird right now because I think I got bitten by some kind of spider last night. I'm like candy to mosquitoes. I don't usually expect spiders to get me. I kind of like spiders. But I've had a stinking headache and kind of feeling woozy, but they arrived. I mean, how can we not put the new engine mounts on the Z3 when they're here to answer so many questions? The tinterwebs have reliably informed me that these nuts are a 16, so extension UJ 16, game on. Seems the tinterwebs were right. Ow, fuck. You know when you don't feel so hot and life literally hits you in the head? One down, 3 to go. Yay. Need a bar. Those nuts that are just undid from the top are the ones right there. So now undo these two bottom ones. I need a 16 with a thinner body on it. Okay, so it being on a 3/8 drive instead of a 1/2 inch just gives it a little bit of wiggle room to go in. And that is not tight. So maybe that works well with the actual crash itself, the fact that the mount wasn't actually that tight. Oh, no. One thing I've just realised is as I lift this engine up, the nut will become easier to get out. But I need this socket to undo the other bugger. Grr. Grr, people, grr. I was going to use an engine crane at the front of the engine to lift it up, but I'm on a slight slope here, as you can see there. So that's not always friendly for engine cranes, so I figure I'm just going to whip off the X brace and then get a big piece of square wood as a decent support for the sump and then lift it that way with Mr. Trolley Jack. Right, this is the driver's side and it doesn't look too bad. It's definitely collapsed, it's definitely lower. It doesn't look overly bent. Well, only time will tell. And this is the passenger one, which is massively collapsed and, you know, canted over. The studs aren't half as bent as I thought or was hoping they'd be, but that's a huge difference, this one right here. Please excuse the AC as it's right there. So, not a resounding success because that is how the engine mounts sit. Now, as we've just seen, the old ones are pretty buggered, but it's not as bad as me. It's not bad enough to make it not get in gear. And the cross membrane bent. There's no creases, no cracks of paint, nothing. And they're both exactly the same. They both sit in the same way. You can see right there. It focuses. They're both exactly the same, you know. And it did get hit in the centre of the front, but I don't think that's the case. But anyway, it's got no engine mounts, so it's a good thing. So one sort of big problem I was having was, okay, so on this mount on the 3 series, where I can see the bolt indentations, it's bolted there and it's bolted there. On the Z3 it seems to be bolted there and there. So I was actually, and there is a threaded hole there as well, as you can see. So I was trying to bolt it in the wrong place, but I don't know, I kind of think it'd work in either. So that's in now. Yeah, I feel like a bit of a failure, to be honest with you. So I'm going to do a fluid change, and I'm going to put ATF in it because I've got it here for one. And also a person in England had really good results with using ATF, and I'll just flush it. I'll leave it in for a short period of time. I mainly want to drop the oil and just see what metal I've got in it. So next is that. To do the oil transfer into the transmission, I originally bought this from AutoZone, which is like a pump. You pump that up and down and it goes in one end and comes out the other. That does not work. Don't know, can't create a vacuum or a pumping action in it. So we're going old school. Put it in the fluid, suck it up, pump it into the car. And what gear would you like next? Oh, I think I'll have second. Not a problem. Oh yes! Woohoo! Oh, so happy! So happy! First, not a problem. And second, not a problem either. Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. And to congratulate her on her awesome piece of car awesomeness, I'm going to just give her a quick vacuum out. I'm not washing the outside yet because I've got to figure out what to do with that back window. I've never had a convertible before, so no idea how to put a back window in there, but she's definitely ready for a vacuum, and I shall do that as a thank you to being awesome. One thing I have a love-hate with, it's gross to dig through other people's shit on the floor of their car that is now mine, but it's kind of fun to do the detective thing. So I've had one 7-Eleven receipt that was in Santa Monica, and I've got this one that is Pacific Palisades. That's money, baby. So somebody who owned this had money. The Fry's receipt here is so old that the bloody printing has gone off it. But I don't know. So yeah, it's lived near the coast of California in Moneysville. I mean, seriously, whoever owned this car was classy. You don't get better than that. You don't get better than Old Spice. And seriously, what do people do in cars? What was that? Was that a dog? They look a little long. Jesus Christ. Wow, people. More detectivage. Tequila. That's interesting. Maybe why he crashed. He, she. Red Bull, Crystal Geyser, beef teriyaki, pepperoni steak. You know, trendsetter. Much like me. Who's AA Bondi? The Z3 driver. Must be cool. One thing that's been interesting as well, so this car was out in the lot when we had a lot of rain here in LA, and you can see it's actually puddled from there straight across until it dried itself out. So should have introduced some electrical fun and games with the roof, I'm quite sure. In-car bottle opener. For that moment when you're in a pinch. Definitely seeing a theme for this car. Definitely seeing a theme as to why it may have crashed. Ray Charles, huh? Game on, game on. And this seems to have been where the car was serviced. Monaco Motors. BMW service. Wondering what spec was on this vehicle. We need to wonder no more. How cool is that? Awesome. Sapphire black metallic, options black soft top, premium package, BMW CD radio. Game on. That is awesome. I'm going to call up and see if I can get, not from these guys, the Monaco or whatever the hell it was called, see if I can get some sort of like service history or something. That'd be awesome. Okay, I need some valuable insight. I've had this rattle from the back end. Now, that bracket right there, I've put one bolt in, which is, you know, a self-tapper, and there seems to be random holes in this area that bracket goes near, but I don't think, obviously I'm not doing it right, but I just needed to secure the back, so that's done for now. But any guys, what do I do there? Because that hanger there, now isn't stressed at all because I think this back box is too high. But you know, it's fine for now. You know, it's in the hole. So yeah, if you could give me an idea on that, that'd be great. This next little musical interlude is just for me to Rob, because he's been freaking out that I've not cleaned the chalk off the screen yet. So you're welcome. There you go, Miata Rob. Just for you. Ooh, you clean. There we go. It's a bit more socially acceptable, isn't it? It's purely a vacuum. Nothing else. Yay. It's like a civilized person lives in this car. Well, drives it. I don't live in it yet. Oh, it's so much fun. It's awesome. And it drives really well. And it's probably, with all probably about 170 horsepower after 50 have probably left the building in the past 2001 till now years, the last 120,000 mile years. Yeah, it's by far the quickest car I've ever driven. Oh my god, I'm getting in so much trouble with this. This is officially what you call happy days, indeed. So I have a problem with the indicator on the left hand side. We just put a new bulb and it's still not doing anything. A bit of a vibration. I'm going to fix that and then see if I can kind of get the brake and light guy to not worry too much about the direction of my lights. Just focus on the fact that they're working. So when I put the engine mounts in, didn't seem to move a lot. When I put the transmission mount in the right place, didn't seem to move a lot as well. But obviously it had dropped down considerably with the actual crossmember fracturing completely and just being supported kind of on the rubber mounts at the sides. So the transmission had probably dropped about 2, maybe even more than 2 inches. So once bolted, haul back up. I really didn't expect a lot. How wrong I was. So the transmission and the engine are back in their right place, and the transmission now has ATF in it. I'm not going to leave the ATF in for long. I just thought if we can wriggle something loose, you know, with a thinner fluid, if you know if the box is a little bit tired, then it's going to help. So I'll put some gear oil in next time and see if the problem comes back. So yeah, so we just got that indicator to deal with, and hopefully tomorrow, plates, maybe. We'll find out soon.